Hi, and welcome to the Saved, Healed, and Made Whole podcast, where holistic health really can be simple, affordable, and attainable for you and your family. I am your host, Kayla J. Esteban. I am a biblical naturopathic doctor at Sozo Holistic Healing, where I work with natural-minded moms to find healing in mind, body, and spirit. So go grab your favorite cup of herbal tea, take a deep, relaxing breath, and we'll get started. Happy almost Thanksgiving weekend. It is one day away, or at least at the time that this is being, the podcast episode is being dropped. Maybe if you're listening to it, it's already been Thanksgiving. And if you have already had Thanksgiving, I hope you had lots of delicious food and good times with people you love and a couple extra days to relax a little. If you're catching this on a Wednesday, maybe you're just looking forward to those things. And even though I do sincerely wish that for you, I do also know reality. And I don't want to sound like a downer for the next couple minutes, a minute or two, but I did just want to kind of talk about the reality of holidays and families because, maybe some of you had to do a lot of work this weekend because your job is extra busy on the holiday. I used to have a job where that was true, where holidays were some of my busiest days. Or maybe you're away from the people that you want to be with. Maybe you're in a different country, a different state. Maybe you don't have a good relationship with your family, so holidays are kind of awkward or uncomfortable, or you're kind of like managing those certain topics and conversations that you're kind of sidestepping. And maybe you're struggling with some finances and your Thanksgiving dinner had a budget, so it wasn't as big or as good as you wanted it to be, or didn't look like the things that you saw on Pinterest and Instagram. And like I said, I don't sound like much of a downer. I just know that holidays can be equally parts wonderful and tricky. I do love holidays and I love to celebrate them, but I don't want to be like, yay, happy holidays, everything's fine. I do want to be sensitive to those who might not have the ideal weekend plans. Or if you're listening to this afterwards, maybe you just didn't experience the best weekend that you were hoping for. And that's the thing about gratitude, right? And this holiday, Thanksgiving, is all about being thankful for what you have. And it's so easy, so much easier at least, to feel gratitude when everything is going right? Like when our food is delicious, when our family is happy. It's so easy to say, oh, I'm so thankful for everything I have. And I just wanted to highlight this verse about gratitude because I think it's something really important to consider at this time of year, but just in general. It is 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18 that says, rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. And so how do we give thanks in all circumstances, right? Like not just when we're happy, not just when the food is good, not just when everything came out of the oven just fine and everybody arrived on time and no one missed their flights and we're all happy and smiling, right? All circumstances. And I think it takes a certain amount of gratitude tunnel vision, right? To like kind of filter through some of the experiences, and out of everything that might happen to you in this weekend or really any weekend, maybe some of it may be great and some of it not so much, but we get to choose which parts we focus on the most, right? And it doesn't take away from anything that we experience. It doesn't mean living in denial or ignoring problems. This is just kind of a side rabbit trail, but I did just want to talk about, I know sometimes people will use gratitude as kind of a dismissive way or a gaslighting kind of way, like, well, you should just stop complaining, or you should just be thankful for what you have, or you should just be thankful that at least you have something, right? And I have heard people that have been hurt by this kind of like toxic gratitude. And I've experienced it myself too, like it felt shut down by somebody who's like, well, you should be thankful, at least it's not this, or at least you have that, so stop talking, and it really kind of can make it hurtful for people that just want to call attention to something important. So I don't want you to take anything that I'm saying as that, right? Like sometimes there are certain times and places where we do need to talk about the uncomfortable things. We do need to vent about things. We need to grieve about things. We need to feel whatever feelings come up about those things. But our feelings do not control us, right? Our circumstances do not make us victims. We don't have to wallow in them, right? We don't need to bring things up unnecessarily, right? But it just takes that kind of discernment to find it really is like this tightrope walk experience to me of, not wallowing and victimizing too much, but also not shutting down and ignoring things, right? And so we can still recognize the unfortunate parts without allowing them to take center stage. And even if a lot of things are going wrong and only a little bit is going right, we can still take time to be grateful for those small things. And sometimes the little things can really, really carry us through the big, tough things. And it doesn't mean that we ignore them. It's that little bit of sweet in that bittersweet that gets us through. And it takes practice for sure. This is something that, like, full disclosure, I am absolutely still working on in myself. It takes being intentional, and I keep trying to remind myself of things like this. But in my experience, feeling more gratitude brings more good things into your life. And it's kind of builds that momentum and that cycle of, like, the more you start to think about gratitude, the more you feel the gratitude, the more you experience good things to be grateful about. And the more you feel more gratitude, right? It's like compounding gratitude. And this is different than just writing out a list in a gratitude journal or going around the table and saying one thing you're thankful for. I'm not knocking either one of those things. They're very nice things, and they're good practices to have. But in my experience, the full physical, emotional, and spiritual health benefits of gratitude happens when we really take time to feel that gratitude, like to sit in that gratitude. So if you have like a gratitude journal or something, like, by all means, write down 3 things that you're grateful for today. But take that moment to think of each one of them, to feel that to kind of like sit in that gratitude, right? Or to go around the table and to like each take turns and kind of sit in that gratitude really makes the health benefits increase. So what are the health benefits? If you are not familiar yet, gratitude helps to raise your body's vibration. It actually puts you, so if you're not familiar with, this is like physics and stuff where all of our bodies vibrate at a certain frequency, and depending on what emotions we're feeling, it causes us to vibrate at a higher or a lower frequency. So gratitude is actually one of the highest vibrations that our bodies can feel. The other ones that I know of that are really high are love and authenticity. So those are like the top 3 that I'm familiar with. And when our bodies are vibrating at a higher frequency, it increases our immune system, which is really great since we're in flu season, which is great at any time. A higher vibration helps to lower stress, helps to prevent emotions from becoming trapped. And if you know anything about me and the work that I do with helping to remove trapped emotions, you know that the less trapped emotions you can get coming into your body, the better for chronic pain, sickness, chronic diseases, just things building up in our lives. So the more we can kind of do preventative work on trapped emotions, the more we take time to feel gratitude and not like kind of let those negative trapped emotions just marinate in our bodies, the more health in the long term we're going to see. And so what are you thankful for this year? I'm really curious. I've got contact information in the show notes. You can send me an email if you want to let me know what you're thankful for. And personally, I am thankful for opportunities to go deeper into spiritual healing and financial healing. Honestly, I think this past year are the 2 things that that God's been really kind of calling on for me to work on most in my life are spiritual health and financial health. And those have definitely been very eye-opening and humbling, and it's really nice to see the benefit and the positive outcome that has come out of that. So that's what I'm really grateful for. This year has been full of blessings, and God has just kind of orchestrated events to help me heal and to see the way that I've changed in how I feel about myself and my relationships with people that I had difficult interactions with before. It's been very nice to see just the more I work on my own healing, the more I see the positive influences kind of rippling out into my sphere of influence, I guess you could say. And so I'm grateful for some of the things that I have applied to my own healing that have also been applicable to the people that I've worked with. And that's been something that's been really helpful too, that I'm grateful for. So I hope you get more blessings coming into your life as we close out this year. And if you have any questions about the trapped emotions and things that I mentioned, by all means, check out the Revive link in the show notes, or you can always send me an email too. I'd be happy to set up a free discovery call with you and we can talk more about that. But until then, have a very blessed day. Have a great Thanksgiving if you have not had it yet, and a great rest of your holiday season this year.